Hi guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Onsen Gaming with your host hec-hec. Today we're going to be playing Red String of Fate. This was a free game I found on Steam. It's a visual novel and I cannot wait to play it. It didn't ask me for an age, so I'm sure everything will be totally fine. And if anything weird happens, I'll block it. Cool. Let me start off the video with saying, I am really bad at reading, but we're gonna figure some stuff out, so it's gonna be great. Come on, let's go, let's start. Come on, yeah. Oh. I tap my pen against my cheek, mumbling to myself as numbers race through my mind. Valerie. Not Valeri. Definitely Valerie. I don't know who would think that was Valeri. It was me. I thought it was Valeri. That makes a total of $375. I get paid $9 an hour, so that means she gets paid more than I do. I glance down at my notebook and quickly scrawl down the calculations, probably using much more force than necessary out of my frustration. Why are the textbooks for this year so horrendously expensive? Do they realize how many more shifts I have to cover just to make up for the dent in my wallets? Why did I add an S on that? Finally satisfied with my planning, I let my pen fall to the table with a loud clank, causing several people to turn their heads in my directions. Cool, there's like all these desks. Kind of looks like oh, look at this guy. Oh, excuse me. I look up with a defiant gaze and end up meeting the eyes of a boy who's sitting a couple rows in front of me to the right. So like over here, I guess? I don't know. To my surprise, he looks extremely familiar. The same glint of recognition enters his eyes, which only serves to confuse me even further. I cock my head to one side, my brow furrowing. What? Do we know each other? A familiar stranger lifts his hand in an excited wave. Yeah, look at him. His hand's not like raising. Despite my usual conscious attempt to ignore the hundred of red strings floating around me, I can't help but notice the frayed, thin red wrapped around the stranger's fingers. Just like that, the pieces click in my mind. It's Aaron. It's Aaron. Isn't it? The nerd from the same high school I went to. Wow, that's pretty harsh. Isn't he a year younger than me? How is he in college already? Okay, cool. We're learning a lot. So we're in college. We know him. And his name's Aaron. Aaron's lips twitch up into a warm smile when I lift my hand slightly in return, too embarrassed to wave back. His lips part, and he seems to be mouthing something to me. My frown deepens as I try to decipher his silent message. Deep in concentration, I almost jumped out of my skin when the professor's voice suddenly raises in volume, echoing in the room. Perhaps the two of you can resume your heartfelt reunion outside the room. I wouldn't wish to interrupt, of course. My head snaps up at lightning speed, my face burning in embarrassment. I notice Aaron turning back around with a horrified expression. No? Well then, will one of you be so kind to answer my question then? I can only stare blankly back at him without a single clue what he was referring to. Aaron seems to be similar predicament, and he's squirming so much in his seat from what an undoubtedly an unprecedented situation that I fear he'll fall in the floor soon. Wow, like, do you see what is happening? I told you guys. He said it's worth 60% of our grade, of course. For the course. Whoa. I try not to let my surprise show when a low hiss drifts into my ear from behind me. Attempting to sound casual, I clear my voice and repeat the anonymous saviors. What the anonymous savior said. Wow, geez. It is really late, you guys. You said... You said 60% of our grade for the course, right? The professor paused and turned back to the projector screen with a nod, but not before shooting me one last warning glance. In relief, I twisted around slightly to thank whoever it was that saved me from getting kicked out of the class on my first day. It's our first day at college, apparently. God, thank you so much. My voice trails off as I lose the ability to speak from the pure shock. The boy sitting behind me lifts his head slightly with a questioning look, brushing the hair out of his eyes. Ooh, who's this guy? You're welcome? Are you alright? His eyes fall to my finger for a brief second before his eyes darken in understanding. Oh. Recovering from my stunned speechlessness, I lower my voice to hush and whisper urgently to him. My heart is pounding in my chest. You can see them, too, can't you? Why did I so much of a pause? I have no idea what you're talking about. His cold reply cut across the air, and I jerked back, my mouth closing uncertainly. No, I can't be wrong. This is the first time I've seen anyone else with a vivid red string around their fingers. His string is just like mine, so faint, it's stretched. This is invisible to the naked eye. My entire life, I've been able to see everyone's red string of fate, which supposedly led them to their fated soulmate. There are many states possible for someone's red string of fate. Oh, hold on. Oh, jeez. Sorry, I was like building up like all this spit in my mouth, and I was like, oh, jeez, when do I stop? It took me years before I could hypothesize what they mean. Some people have strings of vibrant, sharp red, while others have strings as faint and thin as a ribbon. Some strings can be knotted or frayed or even broken. Some strings even lead back to the bearers themselves, ending tied around another finger on the same hand. Wow, that's crazy. Despite all that I've seen, I've never met someone else with the near invisible string until now. The way his eyes immediately flickered to my fingers can only mean one thing. He's a seer like me. Well, I guess we just learned a lot about Valerie. Valeri. I just kind of want to call her that like out of spite. Look, don't you have to... What? You don't have to lie to me. I can sit... He's looking at you again. I roll back around to face the front of the room, both grateful and irritated by his warning. Before I can decide what to do, there's a loud commotion around me as everyone starts chattering excitedly and leaving their seats. Huh? I glance at the projector screen at the front of the room and my heart sinks. It's a 3-person project that will last for 2 months, and it's worth 60% of our final of a final course grade? This is what the question I answer was about. An explanation of disbelief escapes my mouth. I guess that's what it would sound like. I quickly read through the topic, and the hint of panic starts to bubble up inside me. This is a philosophy class. I swear I picked philosophy for all my general courses, hoping to bluff my way through the answers. But the topic heavily relates to science? I can almost see my GPA slipping away from me like a puff of smoke. I try to calm myself for a few deep breaths. It's just a group project, Valerie. Valeri. I'm sure you can ask someone who's good at science for... Aaron! Oh, this is nice music. At my barely restrained shout, the guy in question turns his gaze on me. He's standing alone awkwardly at the side, and his face lights up with a bright smile when we make eye contact. Hey Val, do you want to be in a group together? Yes I do. My knees almost weakening from the rush of relief. I didn't know that was weird. I hurriedly gathered my belongings to rush to the seat next to him. As I'm about to leave, I suddenly remember the guy sitting behind me. I turned to see him scribbling away in his notebook without a care in the world. He clearly has no intentions to leaving his seat to find a group. I need to learn more about him. He may be unwilling to talk to me about the one thing we have in common, but I'm not going to give up. Hey, do you want to be in a group with me? There will also be another guy. He's from my high school. He's really smart and great at science stuff. He'll be great to work with. He meets my eyes, leveling me with a stare without a reply for a long moment. I start to shift my weight from one foot to another, uncomfortably waiting for a reply. Finally, he speaks. Okay. Thank you for inviting me. I'd be happy to accept. At a snail's pace, he begins to place his items into his bag to switch to another seat with me. The entire time, he doesn't say a word to me. Unnerved by the awkward silence, I blurt out the first thing that pops into my head. Monkey Butler. I'm Valeri. I'm Valerie Wong. I'm the first year student in journalism. Funny how I chose this class, huh? What's your name? I don't think you've mentioned it yet. There's a tiny glint in his eyes. What's a glint? I need to look that up. I'll look it up for the next episode. There's a tiny glint in his eye that looks like surprise. What? That looks like surprise at my question. I'm Luke Hayden, second year literature major. He doesn't seem inclined to speak again. We both make the trip over to Aaron's seat. Oh, I had to give Luke like a crazy name too. Well, at least he's polite enough to answer when I ask him a question. Perhaps he's just naturally a quiet guy. Get out of my way, you jerk. Wow, I was just standing there. Aaron. Val, hi. I'm so glad to see you, really. I'm sorry if I got you in trouble earlier. I was just really delighted that we actually share a class this year. Aaron leaps up from his seat as we approach, and he beams at me with enthusiasm. I'm glad to see you, too, Aaron. I must say, I'm surprised. I thought you were a year below me. I graduated... Wow, I cannot word today. I graduated early, so I'm here now. Computer science, you? I give a low whistle. Impressed. Journalism. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me be in the group with you. This guy behind me is Luke. I gotta think of something. I'll think of something. He wants to join us. Is that fine with you? Yes, of course. Why not? It's not like I know anyone else here. Relieved, I let myself collapse on the seat next to him. Thank you, God. Am I happy to see you? Oh, sorry. There's a period and then a comma. Thank you. God, I'm happy to see you. Isn't this philosophy class? Why in the world is this group project topic on science? Well, to be fair, it's more like evaluating and comparing scientific theories with ideas from philosophy, so it's not really on... He stops at my exasperated stare, and he flashes me a sheepish smile. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Let's get this started, shall we? Affected by his contagious enthusiasm, I can't help but smile back. Might as well. Aaron immediately launches into a speech about the various ideas he has come up with the past 2 minutes since the professor announced the topic. Though it was kind of weird because he was like talking to me, so whatever. And I found my mind drifting to the guy still sitting silently onto my other side, writing away in his notebook. Luke Hayden. Why are you like me? Can you see the strings too? Why do we both have basically invisible strings? Where are our red strings of fate? Whoa, that was really crazy. I'm gonna end it here. But real quick, let's talk about what just happened. So apparently, Valerie, or as we like to call her, Valeri, is a seer of red strings. That's pretty cool. She can see whoever is destined to who. So that's a pretty cool ability to have, I think. And apparently Mr. Luke, who I can't think of a funny name at all, Professor Hayden is kind of what I want to call him. But Hayden apparently has the same abilities too, but that's what we think. We don't know. And then Aaron, who is really awesome and is the nerd from school that we once knew. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I guess in the next episode we're gonna continue on with this, and it's gonna be amazing. Man, this is really good. This is actually really, really awesome, and I cannot wait to keep playing this. And I hope you guys think the same way too. Until next time, you guys have a great day. Bye bye.